Hi there, welcome to the Fly Fifer podcast yet again. We're going to be speaking to a local community group today. It's Hands Off Howden, which is a centre here in Livingston, Scotland, just in case you're watching from abroad, that's been earmarked by the local council as one of the facilities they want to close down. So these guys, there's some spirit here. It's quite an amazing thing to see, and I've caught a lot of it on Facebook. I've just not been able to be at any of the rallies yet or anything like that, even though it is my local town now. Never used to be, but it is now. So anyway, the podcast, I'm back up and running. Please like and subscribe to the podcast, because every little helps. I know you hear everybody saying that, but you've no idea how much that absolutely helps us and the podcast get out there. Now, unfortunately, I've no Alan tonight, but he'll be with me in mind and spirit, I'm sure. And we've got another podcast coming up in about a week where Alan and I will both be at that one, and that's going to be an interesting one to see. It's a hot topic amongst communities around the Midlothian area, and I'm going to say it's Dr. Sandra Lean. We're going to be speaking to her, speak about her life, speak about her and what she's up to and what she's been doing for the last 20 years. She's an author, she's a criminologist, and she's also one of the key campaigners, or the main campaigners, for the Luke Mitchell case, which that guy's been in prison for 19 years. But anyway, today is all about Hands Off Howden. I'm going to go speak to some of the campaigners there to find out what's going on and maybe give them another voice on another platform. I know there's bigger podcasts out there, but you know, people might like to listen instead of read all the time, and they might listen to this or listen to the people speaking about Howden and what's going on and what they're doing and what they're trying to do, what they need support with. Anyway, I'm going to go crack on it, and we'll speak to them now. So please hit that wee bell, like and subscribe. It's unitedskates.com on YouTube, or United Skates Limited on YouTube. Look in the playlists for the Fly Fifer. My company, unitedskates.com, which is mobile roller discos all over Scotland, they sponsor my podcast, so that's why the podcast is on that forum. So it's going to United Skates Limited, and then look for the flyfifer.com, the Fly Fifer playlist, and we'll go for there. But when you hit the page, please like and subscribe, because every little will help us keep this podcast going. And like I say, we're a very, very small podcast at the moment. Right, I've been blaring for 3 minutes. Time to get my finger out and go see the guys at Hands Off Howden. And I believe we're actually doing it in the Howden Centre. How cool. All right, speak to you soon.
The Fly Fifer speaks with Hands Off Howden. Your chat, your way.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fly Fifer podcast. As I said earlier, I'm sat here with, shall we say, the ladies of Hands Off Howden Park. Yes, I got it right, because I made a mistake earlier. I just said Howden, but it's actually Howden Park.
It's Hands Off Howden Park. It's the name of the group.
Hands Off Howden Park. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, as I've said earlier, I don't really know the story. I've only been in Livingston 18 months. I should know it because I love the community and I do a roller disco locally. So I've seen this, but I was busy doing other things and I wasn't able to come to any of them because I would have been here recording stuff before now. But for everybody listening, I'm going to hand over to the ladies, let them do the talking, because I know nothing and I want to get educated as well as some of you do. So, Karyn?
Lorna.
And
Karyn.
Right, hang on. Right, okay, so Lorna and Karyn.
Yes.
Right. So who wants to lead? Tell me, what is this all about?
Well, just over 2 weeks ago, West Lothian Leisure announced possible closures of Howden Park Centre and 3 swimming pools within West Lothian. I'm a volunteer and a fundraiser with Livingston players who perform within Howden Park Centre, and we decided that a few of us got together and said, can we meet for a coffee? What can we do about this? Karyn had put a comment on one of the West Lothian pages.
Yep.
So I messaged Karyn, said, come and meet us in Starbucks, we're going for a coffee.
Right. So see, when you see players, what's that?
The Livingston players are a theatre group
Right.
who have been performing at this venue for over 50 years.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, they don't want this place to close. They do 3 sold-out shows a year. After COVID, their first show was Sunshine on Leith,
Right.
which sold out within about 3 days.
Wow.
Because everyone wanted to come to theatre, everyone wanted to get back out, everyone wanted to enjoy themselves, and what better way to do it than a night at the theatre?
Locally.
Locally.
You don't have to go to Glasgow. You don't have to go to
Exactly.
Edinburgh.
Exactly. So we got together in Starbucks. Hannah Bardell, who is our MP for the area, she had already been up here when the announcement had been made. So I contacted Hannah and said, would you like to meet us in Starbucks? So she did.
Right. That's
So
a local MP.
Excuse me, yes it is. So she was able just to talk to us about how we could take it forward. So we had about 5 youth members from Livingston Players with us. So within 15 minutes, we had a slogan, Hands Off Howden Park. We had a hashtag, we had Facebook, we had Twitter, we had Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok,
yeah.
and we had a logo.
Aye.
And then one of the Livingston Players, his girlfriend does T-shirt printing. So before
Brilliant.
we know it, we were doing orders for T-shirts.
Brilliant.
So it just
Community.
spiraled from there. We just got together as a community, and before we knew it, we just put everything on Facebook, signed this petition. I mean, the young guys had QR codes set up to scan for petitions, and we're like, what is this? So Karyn will introduce what group that you're with.
So I run Saltire Burlesque Academy, and
Right.
we hold classes in here, and we've done shows as well. I also run a group called Love the Skin You're In, which is basically a group of women who come together and we do loads of like dance, crafts. We even have Cake Week, which is one of the busiest weeks. But it's all to do, that's funded by the Mental Health
Right.
Trust. So it's subsidised. And these women come along and they've been through so much, all of them. But it's about building confidence, and they're absolutely gutted about this, that there is a chance that their class might not be here anymore.
Yeah.
Because there isn't anywhere else local that we can come and be together. The girls in the class are within walking distance.
Right.
A lot of them don't drive.
Yep.
So for us to move it somewhere else would just be
It's
unthinkable,
back
to be
to
honest.
community again, the
Yeah,
local community in the
exactly.
middle of everything and everybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But like I was saying to you earlier before we come on this, it's not unique to Livingston. Travelling the country, doing what I do, it's hitting Aberdeen, it's hitting Dundee, it's hitting Edinburgh, it's hitting everywhere. In Glasgow, you name it, they're shutting all the community things. I have an idea in my head, but it's a conspiracy theorist sort of idea that they don't. Should I say this? It's almost like they don't want us to be a community anymore. That's the feeling, throughout, all these different. And I think, why break down what we've got left? You know what I mean? We've no money for this, that, the next thing. Why kill the community?
Well, this is another reason why we're fighting. It's for the community.
Yeah.
Because there's 80 groups who use this facility.
Aye.
I mean, that's 80. That's 80
That's
groups.
80, yeah.
That's 80 groups. If this place closed,
Yeah.
where would they go, or would they survive?
Yeah. I was completely blown away when I come in. I had no idea it was as big and as nice, a venue.
It's a beautiful venue. So many people love to come here to play,
Right.
and that's how Livingston Players love this venue. And there's so many people come to see the shows that are here. I think since Panto, for example, up until now, every show has been sold out.
So there's pantos here like the Christmas
Christmas,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then it's one of I know that last year, one of the local drama groups, with Proscenium Stage School, they provided the chorus for the pantomime. So it's about not just the panto being there, but they're involving the community to take part in this
Right.
pantomime as well. So there's been people here to say they've been performing for 50 years. There's people that we had a woman on Saturday before the march who told us that she met her husband here in the early 70s, I think it was.
Wow.
And they went to the same group together, this theatre group that they went to here. And her husband sadly passed away 2 years ago, and she had his funeral in here. She had his funeral tea in here because it was the only place big enough to hold the amount of people that wanted to be here. So you've got people like that. It's got a place in their heart because they've met people here. The people that have been friends for life because they've came here for, community groups. So it's like, where do they go? What do they do? There might not be places. If they're going to close here, they're going to maybe close community centres. Where do these people go, and where do they get the funding?
And I guess that, has there been any kind of communication with, is it West Lothian Council that are making the decisions here?
Well, West Lothian Leisure are the ones that run it.
But they'll be funded by the council, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, I don't actually know, but...
So they've got a shortfall. There's 1.75 million shortfall with West Lothian Council budget in March.
Right.
So it'd be saving West Lothian Council £40 million over 5 years, including West Lothian Leisure to become self-funded in the next 5 years.
Right.
So the council had a meeting week past Tuesday. To decide what was going to happen. The proposal they've put forward is that they're trying to get interested parties like community groups, even commercial companies that want to come forward and take over. But if they don't get anyone, they're going to close the doors on the 31st of August.
Wow. That's not far away.
No, that's not far.
No.
For years, Livingston Players alone is a major thing because they've got a show just in September.
They've got a show on the 6th of September.
Right, so there's 80 groups using this place.
Yep.
I mean, it's a fair-sized place, I get it, but how is that not covering the operational costs of this? I mean, I get it, fuel prices have gone up, everything's gone up, but...
Well, West Lothian Leisure run it, and I'm not going to diss what they do because I don't know enough about it. Yeah. I do know that there's a what they call Space 2 is a big room which is floorboarded, mirrors, can be used for anything. They have gym equipment in there. Right. Now, that's not making them money. Right. Because the gym equipment's on your membership anyway. Right. But that could be hired out, that room. Right, okay. So it's things like that, and also people come... Is that
in here?
That's in here.
Right, and it's no use?
It's used with gym equipment in it.
Right.
And I know when Livingston Players have came to do shows, they're having to remove gym equipment from dressing rooms to try and get in the dressing rooms. So that's not great. There's also a beautiful bistro in here that can be used and opened.
I've seen it there, It looked...
cafe.
Looks fantastic,
I was in the other day there and had my lunch, and it was really reasonable, and the food was really nice, and it was packed.
Aye, so, I mean, the drive up here, right, because it's the first time I've drove up to this building, even though I've been here 18 months, and I've been in the park, obviously, before. This doesn't strike me as a handy place to go and use a gym.
Not if you've got the Livingston
If you've got everything else round about, aye.
West Lothian Leisure have Livingston Gym as well. So I think it's more well-being that goes on in
here.
Right.
Fair enough, aye.
I know I came in here last Tuesday, there was a group of women that were sitting in the bistro area, and I just went to have a chat with them to see what they were actually doing, and it was Knitting Natter or something they were called. Right. Or Knitting Nutters, as the lady said. And she says they're a group who... They just come, individuals, come and meet each other, have a chat, get them out the house. Right. But then normally some of them might be in the house all day by themselves. So it's to come out and meet other like-minded people as well. Sorry, I'm going to cough.
No, you're all right.
That's just typical.
A group that meet up once a month. They've got an acoustic session down the stairs, and they just all come along and they sit, and I mean, we met on the same night, so Love the Skin You're In met on the same night, and we sat and we were doing crafts while listening to them, and it was absolutely amazing just to listen to them. But where would they go?
Yeah, and do they have gigs here? Do they put big gigs on in the theatre and stuff like that? Right, so why is that not paying 80 groups using the place, a cafe? You know, how is this the shortfall coming for here? Surely it's somewhere else.
I don't know. I mean, I totally understand that it's expensive to run swimming pools. And swimming pools
there's no one in here, though, is there?
Possibly not getting used, but there's not a swimming pool in here.
Aye.
But because Howden Park has been put in with the group of closing the 3 swimming pools and possible Howden Park.
And it's a familiar thing from Aberdeen, because what they did with that venue I was telling you about that they shut down up there, they shut the swimming pool first. And the minute they did that, everybody was like, oh no, you know, they shut that. And that was the main swimming pool with flumes and everything in Aberdeen. Gone. You know, just gone. Somebody decided, right, we need to save that money. Shut that place. It's getting redeveloped in there anyway.
I genuinely think they need to come down and actually look and see what happens in here, because I don't really think they know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And they sit in their office and they're making all these decisions when it's actually, it's people's lives they're playing with. Their mental health, which at the moment, just coming out of COVID, is everybody's
we need
suffering.
places like this. We need community. We need people need to be able to
community within a community.
People need to be able to speak to each other, see each other, even if they're sitting in the cafe on their own. There's other people buzzing about, you know, and that. If you lose all that, where do these people go?
Well, they just recently opened up the cafe again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And when I came up on the Tuesday, it was just to pick up a couple of the brochures, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw all these people in the cafe, and I thought, I'm going to just speak to them and ask them what they think. And I asked them, were they there for a group? And they went, no, I've just come to meet my friend for a coffee. So it was just, they went a walk, came here for a coffee, and then they were walking back. Which, you know, that's what people want to do. They want, you know, they want to use this facility for that reason as well. And on Friday night, last Friday, it was Simon and Garfunkel tribute.
Right.
I keep saying to people, Simon and Garfunkel were playing at Howden Park, and they're like, wow, that was a tribute band. And it was a lot of older people that were coming through the door. And one woman was in a wheelchair, a motorised wheelchair, who didn't realise or hadn't known that there was a potential that the place was going to close. She got so upset because she lives locally that she can get a wheelchair taxi to pick her up, drop her here, come and see a show, and go home.
Go home quite easily.
She says, I can't do that if I've got to go to Edinburgh or Glasgow or wherever, or if I've got to travel to Bathgate, it's going to cost me 3 times as much in a taxi.
Yeah.
So she, you know, likes people like that. And, you know, you have got a lot of people we're speaking to who were maybe disabled who said, we can just walk straight into this theatre. We don't need to go upstairs. We don't need to go up lifts or anything. It's really accessible for us as well.
But it's even, I was talking to a taxi driver, and he was even saying that it's going to make a big dent in what he makes, because he brings people, you know, to here and back to their house, you know, after shows. So it's going to affect everybody. They're building more houses in West Lothian, yet they're taking away all the facilities for us to do anything. It's going to be left with nothing apart from houses.
Yeah.
Between the 4 places earmarked, and then the buses reduction, and then the care home saga as well, it's just going to be a Save West Lothian T-shirts that we're going to get printed shortly.
Probably, and I thought that in the way in.
Taking away everything.
Were you speaking about houses and everything like that? That drive in, I was like, oh wow, look at the amount of space here. You can imagine there's another couple alphabetically correct streets. It seems to be a thing out this way.
Well, the thing with this facility as well, when it was redeveloped number of years ago, I think it was 2006.
Because it looks good, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's run down or anything like that.
It used to be, it was the Muse Theatre, was the original name, and people still call it the Muse Theatre. My mum still refers to it as the Muse Theatre, because that's where you went, it was the Muse. Now, when they opened up, or for the funding, they got £1.295 million from, it was Scottish Arts Council at the time, which are now Creative Scotland. And part of that agreement was to ensure that Howden Park Centre would be open to the public for a term of at least 25 years.
Right.
That was from 2006. And they undertook to underwrite any operating loss to ensure the continuing use of the centre as an arts venue.
Right.
So if they did want to pull the plug here, they would have to pay back some of that funding.
Right.
Which is a good £700,000.
Yeah.
So it might cost them more money to try and get out of it than, I don't know. I'm no expert on the ins and outs of how the council work, but I think the council didn't take that into consideration, or they didn't do their due diligence that they knew about that.
Right, okay.
So that was quite a surprise for them. And a lot of the councillors that I've spoken to, because I've been going out to see them, have actually said that, we didn't know that. So, and there's a sign at the door that shows about the funding as well. So, because that's what we're trying to encourage people: go and see your councillor, talk to your councillor, whether it's about Howden Park Centre, whether it's about swimming pools, anything. That's what they're there for. Go and speak to them. A lot of them don't have surgeries now. You've just got to email them or phone them to make an appointment. And they've said the reason for that is that they could sit for an hour somewhere and nobody turns up.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I get that, and it's about time management.
But do you know what? If they sat in a community-filled place that's got access for everybody, that's local, that's central, and they weren't dotted in some wee, I don't know how best, I don't know where any of them used to be, but say if they had a wee shop in East Calder, it's not so accessible to the folk, So if they were in a place like this, using it, they're our councillors, they work for the community, so why not sit down in the cafe and have your surgery there?
I think it's more they have to be in places where it's their area.
Right, okay.
So like from tonight I was at Ammon Bank Library, because that's the area for the councillor that I was seeing. And what other one? I was at Forest Bank in Ladywell.
Is it split up into
so
wards over
all,
here?
So because you've got ones in Linlithgow, Ford House, Bathgate, so it's all the different areas. But I've been trying to see as many as possible, because it's not just a Livingston thing; it's a West Lothian.
It's a West Lothian thing,
definitely.
And I mean, I was having some food in Bathgate the other day, and there's the Regal out there as well that I didn't know existed either, and that's operational, that's functioning. How? It's a smaller community there, so how is that able to function? It's probably a private entity, I get that.
It's the Regal's run by Reconnect Charity.
Right, okay.
It used to be West Lothian Council. I don't know if West Lothian Leisure had that at any point. But I know that West Lothian Council did, and there's a guy called Pete that runs Reconnect there. So that's how he runs it as a charity, so he gets all this funding.
So is there any guys like that come on board or heard or?
Well, this is the thing that the council have put out, that within 2 weeks they're looking for people to have an interest, show an interest. So whether Pete's put something forward from Reconnect, any other consortium has came forward, or community groups, then we won't know until after the council have their meeting on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Right.
They're meeting on Tuesday.
So all going well, somebody will come forward and maybe help it, Maybe.
Hoping so.
Well, we hope so. We really do. We're not with any political party whatsoever. We just want to work with the council and for the best interest for everyone that uses this facility.
Should have asked that earlier. Until hands off Howden Park, were you anything to do other than a user of the facility? That was it? Yes. Right. Cool.
Yeah, my husband thinks it's hilarious and calls me the activist.
The activist.
Things like that, and it's like, oh, where are you protesting tonight? Never done anything like this before.
I just felt there was a need for it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really. And that's why we're all really passionate about it.
Definitely. You could see that at some of the things and what people are saying in the background and messages on the page and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's community-based, community-run. How can they shut it? You know what I mean? But so that's the background. What's the plan? Where are you at now? What is it you want to tell anybody that might be listening? What can they do? What can we do? Is there any other interest in any other parties that might hear this that you could do with coming on board? I mean, it's already the TV or one of the TV channels has spoke to yourself. And is there any other podcasters out there? Because a lot of social media now is getting done exactly like that because people are turning away from TV and stuff. So a lot of these smaller like podcasts and things like that are what are reaching the communities in different towns and cities. So is there anybody that you're trying to attract or any ideas?
We're really just trying to get anyone from West Lothian involved in helping with our campaign. but also getting the word out.
Right.
And hopefully get that word out that there may be organisations like Reconnect that will say, oh yeah, I'm quite interested in doing that. I'll come to, meet the groups that are using the facility, how we can help them. Yeah. So that's what I would say.
We're really open to talk to anybody. That's willing to actually help us in some way.
Right, and so that'll be not just these community-based things, but I guess you're wanting the community out as well, like anybody to come. What do you need from the community?
Just their support.
Which, looking at your Facebook page, you're kind of getting. Keep talking, I'm just going to turn that fan off.
We want them to come out to the protest that we've got, speak to other people about it, put it on their social media, go and talk to their councillors, just sign the petition, talk to us, even email us if you've got something that you think that we've not covered.
Because we know that a lot of people don't want to get involved, and that's fine. But if they want us to do something or say something on their behalf, we are happy to do that. And have you set up any kind of crowdfunder or anything like that that's to help you with the campaign?
We've got a GoFundMe page, and all the links are on our Facebook page. Well, all our social media.
Right. Rattle that off again. Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram,
TikTok.
I don't think TikTok's running just now, but everything else.
And it's all hands off Howden Park.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But so we just want as many people as we can just to come forward and say,
I mean,
what can we do?
I seen it on Facebook, and I thought straight away, I've got to do a podcast on that. I want to find out more about it. I want to get in touch with the community. So you've got a book full there. Whoa. Oh
no, this was just notes. It was just notes. But you'll see on the Facebook page as well. Karyn's been running that, and it was tell us what Howden Park Centre means to you. Yeah. And it was masses of comments for people, all different groups. It wasn't just the theatre. Right. And then post a picture of you at Howden Park Centre or any shows you've been in or anything. Next thing, that exploded. That just went crazy as well.
Karyn, get your phone out and take a photo now.
Yeah, I know that's it. It's a selfie.
Right.
So just things like that. It was people really got engaged with it. Right. There's a Facebook page called Grown Up in Livingston, which started just sort of lockdown, and it just grew and grew and grew. And we feel that that's what's going to happen with ours, because people have been to so many events in here over the years. Okay, you might have somebody that's not used it in a long time, but thought, but I don't want it to close. Yeah. Right, okay, if you don't want it to close, you need to come back and support it. And
I like the photos on Growing Up in Livingston, some of the old ones, when the whole place was getting put together,
There was one in the Howden Park car park, and it was there was maybe more than two men with a wee moped. It was like a really old picture.
Oh, that's good.
Aye. Just talking old pictures.
Even that, like, Dean's, and when they were building all the different... Is it a scheme out here? It's not really. Schemes are high-rises and stuff, aren't they? So, what are they building the community? Yeah. I mean, was Livingston even, is it like Glenrothes and Cumbernauld and things like that? Was that a new town overspill from...
This place as well has a sentimental thing for me, because this used to be a farm, and my gran was born on this farm. Right. So this used to be a farm. There was a farmhouse, all this land. Right. So... you could have a podcast with my dad who'd give you all the history about Livingston and the surrounding areas. And it's him that tells me all these things. Go out a walk and he'd say, that's where your granny was born, and worked on the farm and all this. So it's
not just you live here, you've got that connection. It's like a connection to everything to do with it.
Yeah.
It's probably why you've got that group, your players group and stuff like that. And how many come to that? Did you say 80? No, it's 80 different groups use the place.
So you've got the Livingston players who put on these shows, and I think
how many's in that group?
The theatre holds about 300 and something. Can't remember what it might. So they do 5 shows in a row. So it's like Wednesday, Saturday, maybe a matinee, and it's full and it's sold out.
Sold out every time.
All these people. Yeah. Although my daughter's in it, and I usually come every night, so I'm probably one of the person that comes every night. But that's different.
But then even our group came to watch, and we've been to the Panto as well. Right. So it is a community thing. We're all...
How many's in your group?
There's about 20 go to Love the Skin You're In.
Right, okay.
More on Cake Week.
More on Cake Week.
Don't understand
When
why.
is it?
I know you missed that. You came in.
And the cakes are good.
Aye.
Yeah, because I mean, Livingston Players has got, I couldn't tell you exactly how many members, but there's a lot, because they started a youth cast a good few years ago. So, you know, so they do put on like an adult show and a youth show, but this year it was it is, I keep saying it was. It is. It's a full cast show,
Right.
so it's adults and a youth cast. So it's the first time that they're actually all coming together like that. So, and
what's on
what
tonight? Because they said there was a show on
it's
tonight.
It's a magician tonight who I think he won Britain's Got Talent.
Right, okay.
So he's on tonight. And Saturday, no, is it tomorrow during the day? There's some Twiddly-woos or something, some
Right,
kids.
okay.
Yes, that's sold out. And then Saturday night is Gary Meikle, comedian.
Gary Meikle, comedian, right.
He's sold out as well,
And
Scottish comedian.
did another comedian, one I think I'd heard of, Gary Faulds, or is that right?
He's coming here as well,
coming here or been here? And
I noticed it on Facebook, he was like, what's this? You know,
aye.
nobody's
So,
told
I mean,
him.
names like that, you want...
Craig Hill comes here and
Hill,
plays
yeah,
every year.
right, okay,
Yeah.
exactly. The other guys you need to get, you know, behind it as well, because then they open up the audience, you know, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to. Well, I'm going to be here on Saturday, so I'm hoping to speak to Gary as well.
Brilliant.
On Saturday, and see if we can even get a photograph or get him sign the petition.
Sign the petition, offer up any kind of help, you know, for the fundraising or for the crowdfunder, or you know, even just to share it and share your
it's
stuff
just
to
share
that
everything.
wider audience.
That's
you know?
it. It's just a wider audience that we need to try and get to. But on last Friday, we sat and had a meeting last Friday. And we're putting on a show on Sunday,
Right.
which has all been pulled together. And Karen's done amazing pulling all this together in a week. So we are showcasing a lot of the groups that perform here.
Right, okay.
So we have Livingston Players, we have Proscenium, we have a lot of the dance schools
Right.
that are all going to be performing on stage on Sunday night.
Oh.
We've also got free workshops from 4 till 6. So ArtLink are going to be in here doing their art things. There's going to be acoustic sessions in the bistro section. And so we've just tried to pull this all. And we've invited all the councillors along.
Right.
Because we want to showcase and show this is what we do. So,
Yeah. Be good if some of them come along. Some of them might be a bit worried that they become a target,
Yes,
which is
yes, and I get that.
understandable.
Yeah, totally get that.
Understandable, but aye. And are you planning on putting some of that on the Hands Off Howden Park pages, going live with a lot of? Because I see you like to go live,
We like to go live,
which is really good because it's brilliant now.
We'll be putting all the pictures on. We'll be going live just to show people what's actually happening. It's nearly sold out.
Right.
I think we've only got
Already,
21 tickets left.
Wow, 21 tickets, man.
So
They'll be gone by the end of the.
looking,
They'll be
keep
gone
checking.
by the end of the week. I mean, it's Friday the morning. I reckon you'll be.
And then considering we only started doing this last Friday,
Right.
we've managed to pull
That's
a lot
amazing.
together.
Aye, 2 weeks.
a week.
A week.
Less than a week to pull it together.
Oh, less than a week to pull that together. 2 weeks that the Hands Off Howden Park's been running.
Yeah.
2,000 or just about 2,000 followers on the page so far. Can't mind. Have a look. What else do you need? I'm going to look at your page now. Just
Another thing as well, there's MGA Academy, who are a performing arts college in Edinburgh, and they have now taken over a building in Livingston that they are transforming into studios,
right, okay,
dance studios, acting. It's going to be 5 floors, and it will be the biggest performing arts college in Scotland.
right,
One of the reasons for them coming here is so they could use this facility.
right. But it being the theatre,
Yeah.
rather than just a made-up room, or
Yeah.
it's actually a theatre. The noise, the sound.
So when they're doing their shows, they would come here and do their shows here, rather than trying to sell out the bigger venues in Edinburgh that they've been doing. They'll still have their Edinburgh base as well.
Yep.
But that was one of the reasons for coming here. And they also were going to do a lot of work with the community as well.
Right.
So I don't know whether they put on workshops or what they were going to do. But one of the our members from Livingston players, he attends MGA.
Right.
So he's been keeping them updated as well with what's
I
happening.
can't believe that they're trying to shut this, because I mean, you look at your page, 1,600 likes, 2,300 followers in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been
It's just
You know,
just blowing up.
it's been a roller coaster, but it's been good.
That's mind blowing,
It's
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing the amount of support
Right.
that it's out there.
So, any mentions for any other groups that are here that might interest other people, or
Well, there's Firefly Arts as well, who have been here for...
there's a list?
To have a list.
Yeah, they've been here for a long time. There's the Shot St Patrick's Opera group. They put on their annual show here.
Right.
They're performing as well on Sunday. Their shows are incredible as well. Proscenium Stage School, Millennium. Who else have we got here?
You've got the Root Theatre, Star Harmonies. You've got Stage School, New Moves Dance, Performance Academy. Try to see if there's anybody else you've not mentioned. Millennium, did you mention them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Steps Academy. But that's only a few of them that could actually make this week, because it was short notice, and there's a lot of dance schools and theatre groups that obviously couldn't get things together in time, but they are still supporting what we're doing, and have said that if there's anything else that we do put on, that they would be more than happy to come along and support that.
Right. So a lot of that's like theatre groups, and am I right saying it's like theatre groups, amateur dramatics, or whatever it is it's called nowadays? But I'm not sure if that's the right term. It used to be when I was wee, but
Yeah, we've just got, Livingston Players have just got, it's a theatre group.
the theatre group.
Yeah,
So-
so they do shows and plays as well.
Right. And then you've no, it's
So then there's classes where we were in here the other night, and there was tap dancing
tap
classes
dance.
on.
Ballet
There's
classes,
ballet classes.
burlesque dancing,
Yeah.
We
Kids
used to
groups,
do,
I
we used
guess.
to do tea dances as well. I don't know if that's still
flamenco
going.
dancing.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's loads. There's absolutely loads of different types of things that you can try.
Aye, and there's the two lads I've seen a lot of. Hopefully, I'll speak to them at some point on the podcast. Is the Scheme Livingston, Aidan and Mark. I see a lot of them on Facebook. A lot of them doing different things at the college. But I guess, I mean, this is a facility that might, suit them to use. Because
It's a great facility, and the staff are so helpful. Like there's nothing too much for them to do. If you're wanting something, they will try and accommodate whatever you've got.
I mean, have you reached out to the guys as well? Because they're really community based. So, I mean, they might have a bit of clout following wise, if you like.
I know. I think Aidan had been on our Facebook page as well, and had been in touch. So yeah, we're just trying to reach out and speak to as many.
Yeah, because there was a great
as we can.
quote on his page the other day that I really, really liked. I think yesterday or the day before, or even today. I can't mind now. I've seen so much where somebody I can't mind. Is it Addiewell had said, or they asked, how did you end up in here, or something like this. I might have it completely wrong. When the boy says he shut the boxing club,
They took away the boxing club and opened up the doors to Barlinnie.
Mental.
I think that's what
Something
it was.
like that.
And
Aye,
that, see, when I read that, and I thought, wow, that was really powerful.
That's what
actually.
happens throughout.
You take away these community groups, and where do these people go?
Yeah.
What do they do?
That's if they're no here, got something to do here. That's another 10 motorbikes running about the fields. It's another,
or hanging in the street corners.
hanging in the street corner. Aye.
These people have chosen to come to clubs instead of like the youngsters that come here. They like coming here. They enjoy what they're doing. They could end up on a street corner drinking at the weekends or whatever, but they obviously have chosen not to do that. And if you take that away,
where do they go?
Yeah,
hanging about up the centre, which is what it is. I've heard the stories about that. The rival people coming from all different places, but I think that's something that always happens.
It's been happening for years.
Aye. I remember myself, you couldn't go to a certain town for whatever. But anyway, so what's next? So the council are meeting, did you say next Tuesday.
They're meeting next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, this is to discuss any groups that have came forward.
Feedback, for you guys as well, I guess, then.
Well, yeah, and we're hoping to meet with Councillor Fitzpatrick, who is the chair of the committee that's meeting. So he has said that he'll meet us at a time that's convenient for us all. So it'd be good to get feedback.
Yeah. I think it's important to say that if we get if you guys, sorry, not we, but if you get any of these guys on side, it's important to that no one attacks them, because they might be doing the best that they can, maybe just not the way you or I want them to do it. Is bear with them. There'll be some that don't, but there'll be some that are really trying hard that might put themselves in the light and be attacked for it verbally or whatever, but they're actually on side trying to help.
There's no point in going at it like that.
Yeah, we have to all work together.
Don't get anywhere by shouting at people.
No,
be polite, but get your point across.
Get your point across. Sign the petition. Go to meetups, rallies, protests,
we are
demos.
Meeting up on Tuesday outside the civic centre again.
Right. So while they're having the meeting,
just before they go in.
Just before they go in.
9 o'clock.
Right.
Although
Okay.
they'll probably turn up early so they don't have to see us. But yeah. But I mean, give us it due, because the other week when the meeting was on, or it was that day we went down, there was a lot of people turned up for that, and Councillor Fitzpatrick did come out.
Right.
Well, he did say, I will come out and speak to you before the meeting, and he did. And
he did,
came out.
I've seen it.
He came out and he spoke to us, and it was more or less, I can only tell you what I know.
Yeah.
Which, that was all we needed. And he'd said, I can't take questions, and a few people then did start to shout, but
yeah, it's always going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen no matter what. But he came out and spoke to us and did say that, and you could view it online up to a certain point, because you can view it on the council's YouTube channel.
Right. Okay.
But there was part of it which was private, because it was to do with West Lothian Leisure's finances.
Right. Okay.
So they had to block that, but which is understandable. Yeah. So we were able to watch some of the meeting.
And I think I seen him. He said he would come back out and speak to you once the meeting was over. But he was like, how long will that take?
Yeah,
but did he come back out? Did anybody hang about, or did you just leave it there? And
no, we
just. So was there any feedback from that day at all? Or?
Just came out on the West Lothian Council page.
Right.
Nothing came directly to us as far as I know.
There was nothing.
It was just that it came out in the West Lothian page about that they were looking for applications for any interest in taking over the building. So, but it's the financial impacts as well that we understand what is going on just now with the, but then you've got the likes of Livingston players who have already shelled out thousands of pounds for staging, for costumes, rights to their show, scripts, etc. And they will lose all that money if that show doesn't go ahead in September, to the point that it could possibly ruin them. Yeah. Maybe not this show, but the next one, but it's a lot of money for a charity. Yeah. So, decisions have to be made, and people won't buy tickets for shows now.
Right. Because they don't know if it's
going to... If I buy tickets for that show, is it going to go ahead? Am I going to get my money back?
Yeah.
So that's a big financial impact to a lot of these shows as well that are...
And have they reported that? Have they reported any sort of slowdown in ticket sales on anything, or is it still going guns? Or?
I don't know. I've not asked. So
it's maybe information wouldn't be privy to anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure. Not sure at all. But
they should be taking that into consideration and just ordering the shows that they've got this year,
right?
Because it's a lot of hard work goes into these shows. It's not just something that's thrown together, in a couple of weeks. It's months and months of work.
And a lot of it unpaid.
Yes.
Loads of it unpaid.
Because the people love doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a passion they've got, and they're putting that passion into bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people in the community. Mm-hmm. Because a lot can't get to Edinburgh, can't get to Glasgow. And
sometimes when you've got a place like this, you don't need to.
No.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The cities are busy enough. They've got enough people in them, This is, West Lothian's really busy as well. So why not have a theatre like this for the community, which is a huge community out here. And, since I've moved here in 18 months, it's took me a long time to sort of wash the city out of me. But what a community there is here. It's fantastic. So I didn't understand why they would want to close a place like this. A swimming pool right, okay, cost savings, I get it. But a facility like this just doesn't make any sense. No one it's used like this is. Just doesn't make any sense.
I think they just look at it as a building, and it's not just a building, it's a community within that building. And it's the heart of the community.
But, West Lothian Leisure, like you're saying, there's a shortfall in their income. And if they're already operating with financial losses, what can they do? It's like any business, realistically. If the money's not coming in, you can't. There's only so long you can operate for, and then you're not paying bills and things like that. And I understand that aspect of it, but at the same time, when something's doing as much good as this is, it just doesn't make any sense.
And I think that's why they wanted this within the 2 weeks, because and they're given a date of the 31st of August, because I think it's the financial impacts as well after that, because they can only fund it for so long. I know that the SNP councillors, they put forward a motion for 6 months, because they wanted proper consultations with all the groups and organisations to use it and talk to the staff and get more information, really. Because they felt that 2 weeks wasn't enough. And
think about it, there's been behind the scenes discussions about this for months. There has to have been. So why wait till things have got so dire that you have to say, right, in 3 months we're shutting it? So if they've been talking about this for months, they've known that there's a shortfall for months, surely talk about it then and get this, get as much time behind the discussion to maybe find a solution.
And tell the groups that are in the place what's happening.
What's happening, aye. Yeah.
But even
then they leave you in limbo, aye. It's not fair.
Because even the staff, they found out, and then it was about an hour later the announcement came out about what was happening. Yeah. So they only knew about an hour before it was broadcast to everyone.
Yeah.
And it's their livelihood.
I know. It doesn't make sense. And now that I've found it, I could do a podcast for here. I could do one weekly for here.
Exactly.
It would suit me. What I mean? It's nice. We've got a good view out the window. The lighting's good. Everything's good about this. I'm going to ask if I can hire the room on Monday, because I've got another one coming up. But
just even sitting in the cafe looking out at the grounds, it's quite soothing, actually.
It is very soothing, actually. Aye.
And that's how I always feel that this venue could be marketed as a wedding venue more.
Definitely.
I know that there are weddings that take place in here, but I know that
the grounds are amazing as well. Well, you could have tents out there. You could have
the pictures.
The photographs. That's what I was going to say, because you've got Borough Halls in Linlithgow. It's not run by West Lothian Leisure. It's the council.
Yeah.
That's not a theatre that's in there. That's just an arts and venue complex.
Yeah.
But you've got Linlithgow Palace there, so you've got people that want to get married there and have their reception in Borough Halls because of where it is and where they can get their photographs taken.
Yeah.
Imagine the beautiful photographs you could get taken.
Oh, it's amazing, the grounds round about here. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of folk use some of the hotels round about, and I think to myself, oh, wait a minute, this is a lot nicer.
You can get married in here as well. Like
exactly,
the whole thing you can have in here.
Aye, and then the beautiful photos and the grounds, like you say. And then the other thing that gets me as well, and I don't know, you could tell me, the grounds down there, is there no like festivals, summer festivals? Is there no like any music stuff that can go on?
Used to be.
They used to have.
It's huge.
They used to have Livingston Gala. Now that's gone back a number of years because I was at high school at the time. Because I won a competition and won £5 from Robin Cook, the MP at the time, for an essay competition I wrote. And the place, it was absolutely buzzing. It was a big thing.
So I mean, is that not something that this building could be promoting or holding? Or is it not allowed to have events like that?
I'm sure they had a music venue thing out there.
There was a local musicians that were holding events in the field down there.
Because it's West Lothian Council that own the actual park itself.
And I think it stopped because of COVID or something like that. Some of the things all stopped because of that. But like you're saying, if this belongs to, who's it belong to? Council or West Lothian Leisure?
I think it's owned by West Lothian Council, but run by West Lothian Leisure.
Right. So there's so much more they could be doing for this place.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
That you can't do for a swimming pool. Sorry, Bubbles, if I'm offending anyone. I do apologise. But there's a lot more you could do for here to earn money than just,
And even the amount of work that the staff have put in since COVID to bring a lot more in has been amazing. Yeah. They've worked really hard, and to take that away and just throw all their hard work away is just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they've got a lot more in their heads that they want to plan for this place.
Yeah.
A lot of vision they've got, and where else? What are they going to do with this place?
Yeah.
You know?
You've also got there's a company now that are along at the Pyramids in Bathgate,
Right.
which they're
It's
a
movies.
film studio. You know, it's stage lighting, sound.
Did
They
we not
could-
recently have Samuel L. Jackson?
We had Samuel L. Jackson. We had John Hammond, who's the guy that was in Four Weddings and a Funeral. Can't remember what his name is. That's terrible. But yeah, they were filming out here.
And who was in the pub at Craigshall?
Yeah,
the Tower.
that was John
Right.
Hammond. Yeah.
It was in there.
Because the Tower actually put on their Facebook page, closed for essential maintenance.
Right.
We're like, what's that? And then the next thing there's all these photographs and
Photos,
that's what it's
brilliant.
for. So I mean that's just fantastic for the area to have that.
They'll not be able to use that excuse again.
No, definitely not. And the thing
Everybody
is,
will be straight down. Who's there?
they could be in contact with the film company along there, and how they could maybe train some people, graduates or whatever, coming through here on lighting and stage. There's so many opportunities. My daughter is 16. She wants to be a drama teacher.
Right.
She's been on that stage since she was 2.
Right. Okay.
Dance groups, musical theatre groups, and she's recently been shadow directing.
Right.
So this is what she wants to do.
And that's all come from this.
And it's came from this.
From here, that if it wasn't here, she would maybe never have followed that path and try to do good by being a teacher,
So she wants to be a drama teacher. She wants to continue to be, say she's with Livingston Players, she got this opportunity to do shadow directing. She done some choreography for them as well.
Right.
And she just absolutely loves it. And, she's a 16-year-old who's got her head screwed on, and all her friends go, and they've got this great friendship group. And even with the older cast, I'll say the older cast, I'll get her out for saying that, but they're just all gel together and get on so well together, and they really get looked after. And I know that even when they were doing Sunshine on Leith, which was an adult show, but they had some of the youth cast in it as well, and when they were doing choreography, they'd say, Erin, go and show us how to do that dance, because I've totally forgot how to do it. So she used to go and help them. So it's all about this, you'll never guess what I've done. And it's all this about empowering them and making them feel good, and just making them feel like they've had a good time, rather than going, well, you can't go to theatre group now because it's not on anymore, and we've nowhere to hold it, and what do I do now?
Beggar's belief.
And it's just trying to encourage her that if you want to go into theatre, and there's all these opportunities for you in Livingston, that you could get involved in things with Howden Park, and if it's not there, what does she do?
What do they?
What do they do? And that's just one person out of all these 80 groups that come here, and
So that's us about 49 minutes or so, right? So what I'm thinking is, if you can look into the camera with the red light, tell everybody what you need, tell everybody a wish list, tell the councillors what you want, what the community wants. Speak freely.
We want to keep our building open. We want to have our home. We need everybody to come together as a team and get it up and running the way it should be run. We don't want to give up this place. It means so much to so many people. So sign the petitions, come to the rallies, support all the groups that are in here, go and speak to your councillors, just make a noise, a big noise, and let's do something to make this place stay open, because we need to have it. It's the heart of the community. It means a lot, even just, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Lorna.
And you can tell you're getting really emotional.
Emotional,
about it,
yeah. I can feel it almost.
You do use this facility. Like you are in here a lot, and it does mean so much for people like yourself and people in the groups that are all coming here. And it's like, where do these people go, and how do they survive? And just to exactly what Karyn's saying is that go and see your councillors. Just shout loud. That's where, don't be shy.
Tell them.
Especially when we've got these theatre groups who are not shy and really confident that they can shout, but we need people just to go and see, it's about go and see your councillor, tell them how you feel. You don't need to go and see them, you can email them, you can phone them, just tell them that they want to keep Howden Park Centre open.
And if you're doing nothing next Tuesday, Next Tuesday,
Yes.
get down to the
Civic Centre.
Civic Centre. What time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Make a banner, or
We have banners
you
as well.
have banners. Of course, you have banners. Come on, James. Right. So
Come and support us on Sunday as well.
it's
We've
Sunday,
Yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
What's
We've
happening
got
Sunday?
a show, the Muse Collective on Sunday between
21
6
tickets to go.
Yep. Don't forget that. It's between 6 and 8:30, but we've also got workshops on during the day between 4 and 6, and we've also got an acoustic session on then as well. Some ladies are actually making their debut on stage on Sunday, so they're quite nervous, but we'd really appreciate the support for all the groups because it's going to be absolutely amazing.
The workshops from 4 till 6 are free. So anyone can come along to that, but the tickets for the show are only £6 each, or if you get a family ticket, it's £20 for 4 people. So £6
Yeah.
to see all these amazing, talented young people, older people, every age of people that use the facility, and just to
And it's a
to
family-friendly show as well.
Right.
So
Okay.
open
So
to
when's
all
the show?
family.
Sunday coming.
So this
Sunday coming.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And then afterwards as well, we have
An after-show party.
an after-show party.
After-show party. Yeah.
So yeah, feel
Right.
free to come along, see you.
Right. So I think we'll wrap up. Let you get a break. I don't know if have you covered everything? Is there anything else you need to cover? Do you want to say anything?
No.
Feel free.
I think we've said everything that we need to say.
Well, on behalf of myself and my company, thank you for letting me talk to you today.
Thank you for having us.
Like I say, very small podcast, but it's just to get people might listen, and that's my whole idea of doing a podcast, is where you don't want to read, you don't want to be on Facebook or social media, but you might want to listen to stuff. And there's a lot of people that's getting busier all the time. You know? And it's certainly where I go. I'm a terrible reader, terrible writer, but I'll listen for hours. And
It's our first podcast.
it's your first. Listen, the way you used to are going to nobody will laugh. Right, I'm going to play us out with this.
The Fly Fifer Podcast. Let's talk. Your chat, your way.
Just keep your headphones on a minute. Always play out with these two. Thank you very much. It was good. Really, really good. You did so well.
Thank you.
Brilliant. I hope I've done you some justice, and
Brilliant, thank you. Honestly, can't thank
I hope people listen to it and get behind you. You know, I'll certainly be behind you as much as I can. Bit of a crazy, busy life, but I'll definitely be there and record stuff and post it, share it.
So we got all your details, everything as well, so we can put on.
Yes, I'll send you everything. Don't worry about that. Anyway.
That was a nice wee ska track you played.
Yes, I always. It's Peg and the Rejected, and it's a free song that anybody can use. But I use it at the end of my podcast all the time. But I'm looking, you're on your phone, you've forgot something, eh? Oh, it's the photo time. Right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much. Adios, amigo. Wow, so I've just done the podcast with Lorna and Karyn from Hands Off Howden Park. And what an inspirational pair of people, you know, they're just giving up their time, their life to fight for their community. And, you know, people need to get behind that, because this is what we're losing, our sense of community. Community centres are being stripped out of everywhere. Why would you strip out a community centre or a community hub where not just hundreds of people, thousands of people? I'm in here tonight, right? It is 5 to 8. There's a show on, a magician from Britain's Got Talent or something like that. I didn't look too much into it, guilty. But this place is rammed. How can that be? How can this place not be financially viable? It's got a cafe, it's got loads of rooms. I've now booked a room to do another podcast next week, you know, because I didn't know it existed. So it's like marketing's the problem. I don't think it's actually the building that's the problem. I think they need to market these places properly. And I think maybe West Lothian Leisure, as great as they are, by the way, because I use them for the company. I use them, United Skates uses them for classes and discos. And I mean, they're great. They're absolutely great. It just seems that maybe there's a marketing issue with buildings like this that could be and must be viable. Maybe there's other buildings that aren't viable, but you've got to accept that. But this one, it's huge, it's lovely, it's plush. there's a cafe, there's there's everything in there. There's 80 groups using the place. Anyway, West Lothian Leisure, hopefully you can save this place. I'm hoping for these people that you can, because this is a real community centre, even though it's, the Howden Park Centre. It's a real community hub, and we can't lose any more of these. What are all these kids going to do? What are all these adults going to do? What are all, the mental health groups that are using this going to do? What are people going to do if you shut this fantastic venue, which needs marketed better? That's what this needs. It needs proper marketing to get it out there and in everybody's face. I've been in Livingston 18 months, and the first of me hearing about this place was when it's going to get shut down. How does that work? How's that? How is it not all over Facebook about all the different shows that are on? How is it not being marketed properly? Well, you've heard for the ladies, you've heard for two from the community. Their group in 2 weeks, 2,300 followers or 2,400 followers, 1,600 likes to their page, and that's just going to grow. That's just going to grow and grow and grow. We need some of the more affluent in Livingston to get on board with this now. People that have lived here, been here, these film producers that are coming here to use Livingston, backdrop and stuff like that. We just need as many people to get behind us. And I get it, it's not the only issue, but God, we can't lose community stuff. We just, you can't lose the community. We need that. And the passion in the two women was phenomenal. Anyway, going to go. Thanks for watching. If you've watched right to the end, thank you very much. If you haven't clicked the bell or subscribed and clicked the wee bell, you get notifications on podcasts when as and when I upload them. Next is Dr. Sandra Lean, and Alan Alan is going to be with me on that one, because we all know he's the eye candy. Anyway, for now, adios amigos. Thank you very much for watching. Speak to you soon. Bye.